Hello, beautiful people. Tyree Matthias here. I just want to take the time to really quick show you how to have an automated text sent to your potential leads whenever they dial your number. It's pretty simple to do, so I'm going to dive right into it. Now, if you're using VoxDirect for the first time, um, the first thing you would do is log in and create a number. Once you create your number, once you're at your main dashboard, the number that you created when you first logged in would be here. I have three numbers, but let's say, for instance, you have one number. So it really doesn't matter. But what we're going to do is show you how to connect a responder to that so that your leads can automatically receive a text. So the first thing we want to do is we want to start with receptionist. So you want to click on view receptionist, or you can add a new receptionist. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, for the purpose of this, I'm going to actually create a new virtual receptionist. So you just add a virtual receptionist here. Depending on what plan you have, you can add as many virtual receptionists as you want. But for this purpose, I'm going to go ahead and create it. And once you get here, as you see, you have three options. You can either do a text to speech, which means that whatever you put in here is whatever the virtual receptionist is going to say. You have the option of recording your own voice. So if you want to use your own voice to say, hello, this is Tyree Matthias with Beyond Credit Repairs. If you're looking for credit repair, press 1. For taxes, press 2. It could be your voice. Whatever you want it to say, you say what you want to say in your voice. And then you have the third option, which is upload an audio file. So if you have a pre-recorded audio file, or let's say you have a company that has a quick presentation about your service, you can upload that file, that MP3 here. Just click upload. And again, of course, if you're going to record your own voice, really simple, just press record, self-explanatory. But what we're focusing on this particular training is the text to speech. So in the text to speech is what I want to show you guys how to do. Is whatever you put in this box, it's whatever's going to come up. Now, real quick, just some things that you should know when you're doing the text to speech or voice recording, that there are two sections already done. So you have number 9. So these are all numbers that you can press. So when they dial a number, you can press 1, press 2, press 3 for different functions. When you get to press 9, it says connect to a voicemail. What this means is simply that they can leave a voice message. And this is already set up for you. And if they press star, it's already set up to where as though they can repeat the options again. So let's just go back to the beginning. So we're going to go to text to speech. And like I say, for the training purpose, I'm going to show you how to set that up. So really, I just want to do something like create 3 options. So let's just say, hello, this is Tyree Matthias, or let's say, thanks for calling. Tyree Matthias, we'll say, at Beyond Credit Repairs. And then you want to say, let's say, if you want to connect to me personally, not really worried about the spelling. Personally, we're going to say, make sure you put a comma here, because if you don't put commas, it's going to read it as one sentence. So if you want to connect to me personally, I'm just going to say press 1. Let's say if you are looking for business credit and funding, we can say make sure you put a comma, press 2. And we're going to say 3 if you need assistance applying for the, let's say, COVID-19 PPP funding, comma, press 3. So we're just going to leave it at those 3 options. And then, of course, remember what I told you guys, these are already set up, so I'm going to add that as well. So I'm going to say press 3. So I'm going to say if you would like to leave a message, comma, press 9. So I always leave that because it's set up that way by default. And put here to repeat these options again. To repeat these options, press star. Okay, so now that part is all set up. So once you do that, what you can do here is the text to speech. You can actually, you want to listen to your message that you press. So you just click on listen and it's going to read it back to you.
Thanks for calling Tire Matthias.
Now, one of the things you also want to do is you may want to play around with the type of voices. So whether you want a female voice or a male voice, and the types of voices that you want, or even a kid's voice. I think like Kevin here is like a more of a kid's voice. So you can set these up to whatever voice you like. And if you feel as though it's talking too fast, you can slow it up here, or you can make it go a little faster. That's your choice. I typically just leave it at medium, which is where it is by default. I'm just going to leave it on Joanna by default. So the next thing is, once you do that, is you want to go ahead and plug in what actually happens when people call you. So you would set that up down here in your menus. So prime example for me is if you want to connect to me personally, press 1. So what I'm going to do is on 1, the option menu, I'm going to add and going to choose exactly what I want to happen. So for this purpose, I want it to ring my phone number personally. So I'm going to press connect to a phone number, and I'm going to put my phone number here. Now, if you have a business line or a business landline and you have secretaries or you have assistants working for you, you can put that number in here. And when people dial this number, it will go to your company number. Whatever you want to put in there, you can set it up that way. The beautiful thing is, whenever someone dials this number, I'm going to know that this is coming from my VoxDirect number. And I'm also going to know why they're calling me, because it's going to have a 1 behind it. Or let's just say I said press 2 for business credit and funding, and I wanted them to contact me directly. Well, I would know that it's calling about business credit and funding because it would be a 2 behind it when the number calls my personal phone. So that's the beauty of it. You know exactly why you're receiving this call, and you know how to respond and how to answer that call if it goes direct to your phone. Now that's the next thing I meant to say, and you definitely want to make sure you do that. I didn't do it, and I don't want to take the time to redo this again. Whenever you do this part, before you start messing with the menu part, you always want to save it first. So whenever you make changes here, let's just say I'm just going to change this to directs. You want to save changes. I didn't do that, so I lost my message. I'm not going to go back and fix it. But anyway, what I had here, which should have been, was if you wanted business credit and funding, press 2. So here, what I would want to do with that, from me personally, I would want to send them a text message. So you got all these options you can choose whenever they press 2. For me, it's going to be send a text message. And in my text message, I'm going to say, like say it's for business credit and funding. If you want to apply for funding, click, we're going to say click the link to see if you apply. All right. And you go ahead and put your link in here. So it can be, www or HTTP, let's just say, I need funds now.com, whatever. And let's say if you would like to schedule an appointment to, let's say, if you would like to schedule an appointment to discuss funding options, and I'm going to say click here. And then you put your link there, again, HTTP, I don't know, meet with Tyree, right? .com, whatever. So you put your links right there, and it's just that simple. Now, of course, down here they have options of which what happens after you send it. I typically leave it on this by default, whereas though it repeat the message. So when they press 2, this message is going to be sent to their phone automatically with the links in there to either apply for funding or they're going to schedule an appointment with me and save. Um, yes, and again, so let's say my third option would be to apply for the business funding. Same exact thing, because I want the same exact thing to happen. Before, I'm going to send them a text. So click, I want to send them a text message. Now, one beautiful thing is, and I'll dive into this later, is you can actually add them to a text marketing list. Whereas though they would get put into a drip campaign. So let's say, for instance, I have some drip campaigns already set up. I'm going to go with the stimulus one, right? So I'm going to send them to my stimulus um, drip campaign. I'm not going to go into this in this particular video, but I have it text automatically set up to where as though it will send them text messages, and they're in a campaign to where as though they're going to receive another text message tomorrow and one a week later. Just kind of follow up messages, whereas those automatically created. You don't have to create these messages, so it's pretty cool. You can set it up that way, which also sends them a text. So those are some quick options for you, but just showing you really quick how to set it up. Pretty simple. Again, just to go back to reiterate, you start from your dashboard, obviously where you come in at. You simply go to receptionist. Okay, you add new, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this. I'm going to name it so I know exactly what this is. I'm going to call this, let's say, stimulus, or let's just say PPP funding, right? That's what I'm going to call this, and I'm going to hit save. So now when I go back to, I want to go to numbers. I'm going to view my numbers. Now, again, if you have one, if you are on the $30 plan, you're only going to get one number. For me, I'm on the other plan. I have 3 numbers. So I want to attach that. I'm just going to use my demo number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it, click on my demo number, and here's what happens when people call this number. So it says incoming calls is already set up to where it's going to a virtual receptionist. Okay. And then I'm going to choose which virtual receptionist I want it to go to. As you see, I have created a lot for a lot of different purposes. But for this purpose, I want the PPP funding, and you select save. Really that simple. So now that message is attached to this number. So now if someone calls that number, which is my demo number, they're going to get the PPP funding message that I just created. And there you go. That's how you set up your system to send messages to your potential leads whenever they dial your number and select what they're calling for. So I hope this helps, and I will see you on the next training video. Take care.